All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? It's another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. As you can see, we have a guest in the building, our official political commentary. Hamilton, because if I can get him on as much as possible, listen, just to talk about what's happening. If you was like me, like Jay, Terry, for multiple reasons, up last night with so much going on, the
I'm telling
roller
you.
coaster ride, and
Oh man.
unfortunately, I started too early. I was like, "What? What you mean? Wait,
And the
what?"
thing, hey,
Oh,
so
I was
Khalid,
like,
here's the thing, AD, is that I had no plans on watching any of this stuff. No plans. But I left work and I came home. I had my little issues at the house, and I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. But I didn't say I wasn't gonna get on Facebook.
Mhm.
So I got on Facebook
"What's
every
up, Cheryl?"
every 10 minutes. I swear for Lord, this boy here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He was.
And I was like, okay, now I'm enthralled. Now I have to read the stuff now.
All right,
It was
hold
amazing.
on. Before we dig in, we're gonna hit the intro and get busy. I didn't want to catch
Good
that.
morning,
first
good
before.
morning, good morning, good morning.
Welcome to another
I'll be right
edition
back.
of
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody?
All right, Lisa. Great morning to you, Lisa. Welcome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Whew. So,
like
like I
actually,
said, I started watching too early. CNN. CNN likes drama, so
Oh
they
yeah.
dug in on like one district. Oh my gosh, it's going for Trump. You're like, wait, hold on, let's pull back. Let's see what else is going on. So it was kind of a roller coaster of emotions, and of course, if you're following or if you looked at anything this morning, the results are not complete. Numbers are still pouring in, and we know from the ballots, the mail-ins, because some couldn't even open mail-ins until today.
today, right?
That's absolutely crazy. But
Mhm.
um, we are in anticipation because it's close. It seems like it's so close, but maybe the
Yeah,
mail-ins will just
the
jump one or
push,
the
yeah.
other because I know that happens a lot. What's up, GA? Great morning to you. Dr. Walter Sims in the building. Yes, indeed. Good
Are you?
morning.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good
How are you?
morning.
There is feedback. I hear it now.
Who got it?
Is it
Anybody from
me?
me? Maybe.
Is it?
You know what? Hold on. You still hear it?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So what what is everybody's take? I was watching the House and the Senate as well.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure where we at now. It looks like it
Still
was
close.
leaning back
Is,
Republican.
is it still close?
Still close.
Still
Still close.
close,
It's
yeah.
6 more seats left, and it's about split dead down the middle in the Senate, at least. Still close.
Okay.
Um,
So we haven't taken control of the House or the Senate yet.
not
I
not
know it's like
yet.
3 votes away from taking the majority in the House.
Not yet. We're still going through it, and I think it probably has to do with all of those mail-in ballots that AD was talking about
Yeah.
before. I think one of the things I want to make sure everybody understands,
Hey, Mama
because I
Corey.
know normal people went to sleep, but I stayed up because as your champion, I want to make sure that I'm coming, bringing it to you raw and uncut. So,
Yeah. He did
if
that.
you weren't awake around, I say about 3 o'clock in the morning, Donald Trump made his victory speech.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was
This went on.
interesting.
Now, let me tell you what's interesting about the speech. The speech was, you know how people can talk out of both sides of their neck. This was a both sides of your neck speech. He says, he was upset that
Right.
networks, by networks he means Fox,
Yeah.
were calling Arizona for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He says that there was disenfranchisement that was going on in Arizona. Yet the other states that had not completed the counting of their mail-in and early voting ballots,
Right.
he says we need to stop counting. Stop counting. Now, I want to hone you in on something. The states that are in play right now, or at least that were in play at that time, we're talking Michigan. What
Right.
city is in Michigan? Detroit.
Detroit.
What are people in Detroit? Largely
Right.
us.
Right.
The other state, Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania was it again? Philadelphia. What are
Yeah.
people in Philadelphia?
Black.
The other state, Georgia, I ain't even got to go here. Y'all know where I'm going. Atlanta was not counted. Where the people in Atlanta, who do they look like?
Black.
Us, right?
Yeah. It looks
So
like us.
he wants to stop the voting. Stop it all now. He's won. The margins are so great. You know what I'm saying? So, if you've been following since then, what you realize is as they have been counting, the margins are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which means that, as usual, Black people save America. Once again, we just hope that we have enough to offset all the racism that surrounds it. Right. Our power is concentrated in these city centers. Which brings into a lot of questions. Oh, Georgia's going for Biden now. Okay, super. So it brings into question a lot of the metrics that we use for elections and a lot of the processes. One of the things that people don't always know is we had record turnout in early voting. Early voting historically favors the Democratic Party. They're the ones who say, mail your ballot in. We're concerned about your health. Don't go out here in COVID and stand in lines. You can go ahead and do this early, right? But a lot of precincts are not allowed to count early votes before the actual election day. So even though it seems like you should just be able to run the thing through the machine. We already know what's going on and we avoid the drama. That's just not how people are set up. They want to make sure that it's fair. They want to make sure that there are multiple eyes on each ballot and that everything is counted properly. The disconnect here, though, is reporting, because some precincts report to certain media outlets and don't report or don't prioritize others. So that's why you see CBS or somebody may call a state, but CNN hasn't done it yet because they want to triple check and quadruple check to make sure it's right so they don't get sued. So that's kind of how that works and why everybody was all mixed up. Associated Press, I think, Associated Press and Google were on it. Like Google has bots that do pretty much anything. So the bots was like, oh, we already know who voted. And that was cool to me because the Russian vote doesn't even come in until today. So
it's delayed a little bit, right?
Yeah, man. So we'll see. We're gonna see, but it's gonna be tight. And if you are a minority, you probably are immensely concerned at looking at the map of the United States of America and how many of your white colleagues were lying to you. It's been rough. So that meeting at the water cooler today is going to be very interesting. When you go to work.
Well, for me, I mean, cause my folks, my white friends out here, they were Trump from day one. I knew that.
No confusion.
No confusion there. He's got on the back of his truck. He got his face mask. Trump. So and I never jumped. I never said anything to him about his political affiliation, but I do give him the side eye though. I do give him the side eye like. No. Is you a Proud Boy or is you not? I don't know. But it's the speech. I heard about that this morning when I woke up, and I was like, and I watched the actual video. Jake Tapper was doing the commentary on it, and I love that. Just for the sake of argument, if you guys don't know who Jake Tapper is, I need you to take 2.5 seconds to Google that dude. He is hilarious. And he's like Jay. He's the black Jay Hamilton. I mean, he's the white Jay Hamilton. But I was watching this video and I was like, this dude is really talking out the side of his neck. Like Jay said, like, how is you gonna break the democratic process that we've had since the inception of this country? I don't get that. Who is you to break the democratic process? Listen, all them absentee ballots, those mail-in ballots that people are sent in because they were home worried about COVID, didn't come out because of COVID. See, everybody that voted yesterday is those folks that are. I got a friend right now. Well, she's not a friend no more, but I found out yesterday she's a nurse, COVID positive, her and her parents.
Wow.
And she went out to vote.
Wow.
This was her reason. It's my God-given right to vote. Is that it? You a nurse, chick. You see this every day. But the folks that stayed home, that's my point I'm making, is the people that stay home and did mail-in votes are the ones worried about COVID and all that good stuff. them is the ones that they want Trump booty up out of the office because you're the reason why I'm here.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't handle COVID properly and all that. So now everyone got the cover. Here in Idaho, man. If our cases go up, it's not going to be. I won't look too far from the
Right.
lake.
Let's read a couple of the comments. E Sharp says America needs black people.
We do.
Romello says Trump lost. Let's go. He said I'm surprised. It's messed up. People who voted early and passed away before 11/3, those won't be counted.
That's
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either. Sad day in America. Sad day, guys. Personally, I wouldn't want either. Neither would I want Sanders either. Maybe time for a third party, shake up Democrats and Republicans. Let's see. America needs a national day off after this with pay.
With pay. Emphasis on pay.
He said, "Now everyone's got COVID." Yeah,
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Who said this? Was a comedian that said this. I don't know if it was Cat Williams or somebody. Can't America be just can't America be single? Maybe we single. You know what I'm saying?
We need some time. We need a break.
We need a break. We've been relationship after relationship. And I think it was Cat Williams. I think it was Cat Williams before
he said that.
And I was like, can't we just be single? And then before Brock got voted president, he was like,
he said
the president been white. He said,
"What's up, Cole?" He said, "In the winter is God." Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, brother?
Hey man, that's right. God is always doing that. Amen.
Can't Williams.
You can't date.
Can we date a president? Try a few, just go on some dates.
All the men being white.
Listen, I was up when Trump was coming, and I couldn't do it. I'm glad y'all listened because I know it's gonna be some great nuggets in there. I was like, I can't because we're waiting. I was like, here we go with this nonsense. I was like, because everybody was playing, all the stations were playing, and I was like, I'm gonna take a break. This is my time to take a break. I'll come back and watch the numbers.
I want to officially blame Jay Hamilton for my anxiety being on today.
Fair. That's fair.
Because I was like, I wasn't gonna do this, but you know what though? At the end of the day, my vote went to this guy. I'm just
Randy Watson.
He ran with Kanye.
Yeah, I think it was a Kanye ticket. I'm not sure.
That's the vice president. That's the VP. They were watching Fox News of course they were. I mean, even though they're not really big fans of Fox right now, because Fox have been kind of hammering them too. Doing that thing called Truth, and they weren't liking it. Pence was more president.
I got an issue with this one. I got an issue with this one. Nope, because after Trump did that crazy speech, and Pence came up, and of course he watered it down, classic Pence fashion. But my thing is this: at some point, Pence is complicit, right? We got to stop treating Pence like
100%.
He is totally complicit with what Trump is doing. And he's like, yeah, we can let him go out and say the crazy stuff. I come in, clean it up. America just let it slide by. Yeah. What Trump did last night is treason. And ordinarily, you would think, okay, well, we got to punish treason. But y'all let him slide the first time he committed treason. So it's not, nothing's going to change. I also, want to address this narrative too. I got a lot of comments this morning. People are upset because Pookie and Ray Ray and them in their community apparently didn't vote for Biden. And, now somehow the narrative is being shifted to say black people are the reason that Biden didn't win outright. And I had to do a check because I was like, that doesn't feel right. When I checked the Edison exit polling, 87% of black people voted for Biden. Right. So I'm not sure I'm gonna be upset about the 12 point whatever percent.
That didn't vote.
Yeah, I mean Weezy, he's good. Like I'm so sure Weezy's good. I don't know where Ice Cube stands. Maybe he did or didn't. I don't know. But for the most part, we were pretty solid. I'm more concerned about the 54% of white people.
Right. Let's see.
Introduce the people to Jay Hamilton.
Yeah, man. You missed it.
Okay. I must have fallen asleep right here on line.
I did. Mr. Jay Hamilton. I said he was I guess he's our political commentator. I've officially crowned him that. He coming through with the politics, because like I said, he's up all night watching and commenting. So he's better than Twitter. So you get up to date.
And if you're in North Carolina, he's an attorney at law.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
A sad one too, because North Carolina was bloody.
Oh man, I was disappointed. I'm reading the stats from North Carolina. I'm like,
oh yeah,
come on.
E Sharp says, "How do you feel about the polls numbers being so far off? They all said Trump should be losing right now." He said, "Can we trust the polls?"
No.
Yeah, I
No.
feel that way too.
No.
Definitely feel that way too. Hold on, put that up. Let's see. P said Pence is more dangerous than Trump. Trump is a clown. Pence is an actual politician.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
We're gonna go to the
Q probably voted for Kanye.
He probably did. He probably did. He probably did. They wouldn't. I just reading. I think Ebony's comment when she said that someone said 50,000 people voted for Kanye.
Wow.
50,000.
50,000.
Do a fact check on that, but
You
wow.
see
Yeah, that would be great to know. That we should fact check that.
I saw his campaign ad for 2024. He was like, "Well, 2024." I don't want to hate, man. I understand he got all kinds of stuff going on. I understand this is something that he really want to do, but I
need for him to sit
down. It's a bit much.
Take several seats, my brother.
It is. I mean, like, why not get behind somebody? You know, not even like Biden, Trump, but like find somebody, get behind somebody that's got like what's that thing called? Qualifications.
Yeah.
What are those? We still believe it?
Right. I know. Like,
but seriously, if he put his backing, into someone, he's gonna get a lot more traction. I mean, than him trying to, because Kanye, nobody care, bro. You know what I mean? I need you to have several seats. You got North by Northwest or whatever your baby name is, and Kim, do your thing. You know, leave this political stuff to the professionals, brother.
He said, "Never trust the polls. When I see polls, I always say, see you first Tuesday in November, and I'm on in media."
Mm-hmm.
I've never trusted the polls. I mean, they always freaky. I mean, I think Ephraim had asked a question or made a comment earlier about trusting the polls and why the numbers were so off.
Right.
Because I think Jay kind of answered that when most media outlets, most voting precincts report to certain media outlets before they do others and all that. Mm-hmm. But I was watching.
Right. You're right. You can buy qualifications.
You can buy those too. Yeah.
Shout out to Lori Loughlin.
Keep
your head up. Nah, she's doing her 2 months. Keep your head up.
60 whole days in prison. That's great.
Money candidates like Trump open the door, but people who are serious about running a country, right?
No, he's not serious about running a country.
Well, I do want to say this one thing because I don't say a lot of nice stuff about Trump. I will say this. What we have seen over this election cycle, particularly yesterday, is he was successful in getting a pretty diverse coalition of people together to support him. Why, I do not know. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, there are a lot of people in America who do like Trump. They like what they see.
Yes.
And I think that's something that it's a hard pill for us to swallow, but it's something that we got to deal with. Even the Latino community the numbers were I think it was like 34% for Trump. So
yeah,
who knew, right?
One thing we can say is that he did get voters out to vote. What I can't understand is how Nigerian people were for Trump. I was so confused at that.
I can give you a stereotypical answer. They bought their money too. A lot of scammers come from Nigeria, so they try not to get extra taxed on that.
Come on, man, you in Nigeria, baby. You're Nigerian, man. He don't like us. I don't.
Ain't that one of his ish whole countries? Was that one? Was that part of the?
I'm pretty sure it's on the top.
Oh, let's
hey. Yeah. Jay Hamilton, just in case, a little bit of background. Jay Hamilton has been on the Brothers Who Talk a couple times.
Yes.
I think this is his first time on BOL, right? And he is just our resident. We know when we want some political talk. We know exactly who to go call.
Oh yeah.
And Ghostbusters, baby. We call that boy.
Y'all remember this gentleman? You're gonna see him on TV really soon. Really
Did
soon.
he just get interviewed the other day by CNBC?
Yeah, but that's an audio interview.
Audio.
We gonna see how much of that ends on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I talk about racism a little bit, so I don't know how much.
Dwayne is the mic man. He had a boom mic, Dr. Sales. I'm not sure what happened to it.
Look, I still got it. I realized that I am not 25 anymore. I got a little pull right here, but I'm good.
Wow, it's the
Latinos
mindset.
in countries where they say, you know what?
Wow.
You know what scares me?
What's that?
Even after all of this, is that even if he somehow Trump steals this election, he's gonna jack up these 4 years like he did the last 4, and then when it's time for him to leave office, he's gonna do something else to try not to overrun the Constitution and say that the president get more.
Oh, Pence gonna probably run.
Return.
Pence will probably run. I was thinking we
See.
done with him. Pence will
By
probably
the time that happens, Pence will be what? How would he
Jay,
be?
look, Mr. Hamilton said it right a long time ago when I was just watching. Look, it's real simple. I always thought that the Republican Party was playing chess and they was just hoping that President number 45 would mess up to the point
45, yeah.
where Pence would be in office for whatever reason. I
Yeah.
think he was the Manchurian candidate the whole time.
The whole time,
I just
yeah.
don't think it went the way they designed it to go. I think he
Right.
took over the trade.
right.
Yeah. Let
Right.
me. I'm gonna say this real quick. I gotta say it. It's totally off topic. But when Dwayne said Mr. Hamilton, I went right back to the episode of the Boondocks when a pimp named Slickback came on there, and he said, "Mr. Up here, no need for the Mister." I thought about that as soon as you said it. I was like, okay, back to the regular.
Right. You know what, Cole? You're right about that. Right. He said Terry Trump is still in the White House playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Okay. Well,
He's coloring right on the lines. Right.
touche.
And let me tell you about the last part of the speech, though. The last part of the speech is he wanted to get his lawyers to file an injunction with the Supreme Court of the United States in an attempt to stop the counting of these votes in these largely black districts. Well, guess who just got a new justice on the Supreme Court of the United States? Like, at some point, it is chess. At some point, this is chess.
I believe.
And what I'll say is this: I think one of the things, I think we talked about this last time I was on the program. I think when you have homogeneity, when you have a lot of people who are of the same background, same persuasion, same everything, it's a lot easier to get the solidarity you're looking for than the Democratic Party, which has this umbrella approach of we got diverse interests, but even within that, diverse interests aren't always in line, right?
Right. Yeah,
So it's very difficult to get this, kind of rainbow coalition together when you have people who can consistently run the way they want to run. On top of that, I think that Republicans do a much better job than Democrats when it comes to wielding power. So once you get in, now they were concerned because they thought Biden was going to win, and they were like, "Oh, are you going to pack the court? Are you going to pack the court?
Right.
You already been packing the court.
Right back,
You did everything you wanted to do."
Because you ever know it, that's the one question they won't answer. Like, moving along.
That's hell yes.
That's a horrible. That's a horrible question. Why would you ask me a question like that? Yeah. Yes, a pimp named Slickback in politics in the same line.
What power over voting does the Supreme Court have? Then they stopped the vote. Yes, with Bush and Gore. Yes, they decided that. Yep.
Yes.
Why?
Yep.
So the thing about it is the Supreme Court at any point in time, they can get involved if there's a federal question, particularly federal question being election, right? The issue comes down to whether or not certain votes should be counted. And I don't know that Trump has a basis. I'm not here to say that, it's like, I know he pays a lot of money. He's got lawyers on staff who are going to fight this.
Right.
But, I don't know that he has a legal basis, but he can certainly ask, right? Where court is no. But he's asking friends. Right. So if you ask your friends for stuff, what are the chances they're going to tell you no? That's the nervousness that I have as somebody who is in the minority.
Right.
I mean, because the last two justices were Trump appointees, right? Kavanaugh.
Definitely Tony Berry. Yeah.
Kavanaugh and this.
Yep.
But I think I heard a recusal of one of the justices because I was trying to get the reason why because Fox was complaining about it.
Who recused?
The current, the one that just got in.
Amy Coney Barrett.
But I don't know why I don't know what the reason was. They were just complaining. I was waiting for them to talk about the reason. Trump put in 3. Did he do 3?
Kavanaugh, Coney Barrett, and who was the third one? I don't know who the third one was.
Was it
Maybe
Gore?
put one in early.
I don't think
That must have
they
been-
put 3 in.
He said
Yeah.
politics
I
is
don't think
just
that's
false.
ever been done.
Right.
Yeah, I think he nominated 3, but
Yeah.
I don't think the first one got in.
All right. So while we're doing that, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Speaking of 3, tomorrow we actually this Friday dropped another episode of Brothers Who Talk.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys watching us and listening and following us. Brothers Who Talk. I'm AD. This is Terry. So we're on a race to 100 subscribers, and I definitely want you to be a part of that.
Hey, that's all we do. I like that.
And it was Gorsuch. I just did the research. It's Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Congress.
Gorsuch.
Yeah.
Good job.
That was quick. I could do that. It was like 30 seconds.
I knew someone gonna pull it up quick. Right.
That's
Yeah, right.
somebody who
He
utilizes-
replaced Scalia.
What happened
Right.
to Scalia?
Yeah.
He passed away.
That's the way. That's the only way you get out.
lose it.
That's the only way you get out.
Okay.
Omenta.
Don't die. Don't die.
Listen, it's crazy. I keep thinking I can imagine in the hospitals, you know, some of the party members was talking to whatchamacallit, like RGB, like stay, please don't go. Don't hang, please. You just got a couple of more months. Don't leave. And I'm sure she was like, you know, I'm sure those conversations like, you know, it's getting bleak, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. He said Google is our friend, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, Dr. Sims. We love Dr. Sims over here.
What's up, Michael?
Dr.
Good morning.
Sims, this is for
What's
you.
up, man? He got this
You know, hooked it up during the break. Look at
This
that.
stuff made New York City, brother. New York City.
He said, "I don't
yeah,
want
I
Trump
think-
to win if we thought he was careless.
Yeah,
now
man,
imagine
he's
him.
really-
I feel
It's really crazy. See, BJ brings up a good point. It's a great segue. What I was going to say. I think I'm more so disappointed in the country as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
How this race is this close. At least 50% of America backs this man who never denounced white supremacy, poorly mishandled COVID, and his deadly disease has killed over 200,000 people on his watch.
right.
And the hatred, the rudeness, all that, and that people support that. And I was watching these videos. There's this guy that goes around and he messes with Trump supporters at rallies. You know what I'm saying? He's a comedian. I can't think of his name right now.
Jordan Keplick.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I
He be
think
clowning him. He be clowning
That's my
him.
man. That's my man.
But even though we laugh at this stuff,
Yeah, it's
realness though,
Yeah,
these people will follow this man to the pits of hell if he said go. And that's kind of on the scary side. Like,
Right.
and these Proud Boys are sitting back in the cut. Like, what do you say? What do you say?
Mm-hmm.
And
I only
it's
got
like,
one question,
it's crazy.
though, Terry. I only
What's
got
up,
one
bro?
question. What's different from last week or 2 years ago? Or
There's nothing
10
really
years
different.
ago? So that's the only thing.
Oh, you said 10 years? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that there's no difference between the people who
That's
felt
important.
that way 20 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 months ago. We're gonna have to deal with them people. That though politics can't change those type attitudes, and I think sometimes we put a little too much pressure on political figureheads. I'm not gonna
Right.
call them their leaders, but I think we put too much pressure on them. We give them. There are people right now. I told my wife last night. It wouldn't surprise me if we see some people start to commit suicide after this. Because too many people are, everything about this election is driving their lives.
Right.
America has been America, will continue to be America, and children of God will continue to live the life the way they have.
Pretty real.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense to be concerned because it really does deal with us. But to the extent that some people have invested into politics,
right.
and couldn't name they probably couldn't name 2 issues outside of what you see on Fox and CNN.
Mm-hmm.
and they're, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna be the target for the next strand of COVID that comes out, and they're gonna get rid of you too. I'm a little conspiracy theory, a little.
Yeah.
I'm a little common sense, but at the end of the day, everything you said was correct, Terry. But I think sometimes people are a little too dramatic because it's gonna be que sera. I mean,
Right, right. But here's my, in response to what Dwayne just said is that, the America has been the same forever, right? And racism has always been here forever. There's nothing that's going to change that. I think what I'm saying with Trump in this situation is that now the racism is more bold now, and being in the last 4 years, 4 years ago, you didn't see people ambushing trucks and vans on the highway because they were carrying the opposition's or riding the opposition's bus. Mm-hmm. You didn't see blatant disrespect in people's faces. You didn't see this stuff. Now that Trump is, I think that with Trump being in office, he now has given the people the power with this open door to do and say whatever you want. Let me tell my people that are watching this right now, I am not my ancestors. Let me tell you, I'm not playing this game with people. And there's a couple of people that I've run across out here in Idaho that have borderline, like, say something crazy. And I'm like, I am not my ancestors. I'm not.
Just remember, you got kids.
Right.
I got it.
And bail money is real.
It's in the account right now. I'm good.
And I want to be clear too, man, because even with that, like, I think sometimes we just don't give our ancestors enough credit, man. Like, ancestors was out here fighting huge battles.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at some point, as a black man, I guess I feel like there's two perspectives to have on this, right?
Right.
Mm.
Perspective number one is you could say that we are reverting back to a time that maybe our grandparents may be more familiar with, but who were we to think that we would be immune from having it? We still live in America, right? And the second perspective of it, though, is what I think is really happening. And what I think is really happening is this is kind of the heels in the ground, last ditch stand for the old school conservative white way, right? Yeah.
I agree.
The country is changing. The demographics are changing. There's no going back, largely because of the stupid rule that they imposed that the one drop of black blood makes you black. But that's neither here nor there. So because of that, things are changing. We're starting to have a bigger voice in the society. And seeing Barack Obama become president was just like, that was a no-no. So now that we have all of this stuff that is starting to go for us, and people are starting to look around and they say, why does Terry have money? Why does AD have money? Why Dwayne got money? Right? Y'all supposed to be in the projects. And I'm up here. I didn't do anything. I didn't go to school. I didn't try, but I'm supposed to be rich. And you're supposed to be doing this. The fact that people are now looking around and seeing all this, and then you got LeBron James on TV building schools and whatever, like, it is driving white America, or I should say not white America, racist America, right? It is driving racist America crazy. And the only way they know to react to that, nobody's going to go take LeBron James' money. You can't. Right. But what they can do is run a bus off the highway, right? What they can do is intimidate you at the polls. And even to some extent, we had a guy in Charlotte, actually. He went, and Terry, you familiar with Charlotte. Yep. He went to Betty's Ford Road with weapons. He went to Betty's Ford and with weapons trying to intimidate voters. Wow. And at first, I was getting alerts.
I only drive through, and I know that ain't the one where you pull something out on somebody.
No, sir.
Like it. That's like on a Bankhead. That's
right.
Exactly.
Right. He gets there. He's standing out there. Let me tell you, man. So he's there, army of one, trying to intimidate people. Now, what happens is, everybody expected that we were gonna act out, be ignorant, go after him, whatever. Right. Nope. Black people stood in line. They voted. He didn't suppress not one vote. He didn't get the response that he wanted. So he left. He drove over to UNC Charlotte campus and got arrested. Right? So
why though?
He's doing that because
UNC is predominantly white. You're not gonna. Yeah.
Right. They're not gonna let you mess up the money.
And besides, don't forget, it's a college campus. Police jurisdiction and laws change drastically. Wearing that gun on a college campus, that's automatically that's bracelet. So it's slightly different than him being out in public and doing it.
There you go. Y'all gotta remember that racism, like I told you before, the only thing America has invented outside of America without black exploitation was racism. And if you take away racism, that is the fabric, that is the backbone, and people won't know how to function, right?
You ain't never lied. Hold on for a second. You take away soul food. You take away good baseball, good basketball, good football. You take away electronics galore, driving.
Peanut butter.
You can't drive. Look, ain't nobody gonna have no old school or no foreign.
Right.
Yeah.
And then cars probably still be handmade because there will be no assembly. Like, man. Look, you just
washing
a new way of looking at something. Wow.
No wash machine, no traffic lights.
No blood transfusions.
Nope.
No plasma.
Nope. No heart surgery. Nope.
Can you imagine a hurricane? After the hurricane, no air conditioner ever.
Right.
Just a fan.
Just a fan.
Ooh.
Well, when we talking about having money, though, you know what? You know, Kanye said it best. You know, even though we talk about Kanye, but he had a great line in the great song "All Falls Down" when he said, he said, "Even if you got a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe."
Wow.
So you know, that's the Cole's point that he made. So we forgot America. That was 50, 60 years ago. As Jay-Z said to many white people, we are still a nigga. Yeah. So that's no matter what.
Oh, and see, before Kanye or Jay-Z said it, Trick Daddy said it.
Trick is my dude.
Long before then, he was like, "So your family was from the Caribbean, and never was slaves. You a nigga,
right?
So you just won the championship in the NBA. Still a nigga."
Right. Still a nigga.
He was like, "You got a Fortune 5 company and push the coupe. You's a nigga."
Right.
He said, "Your family is light skinned and don't got nappy roots. Still a nigga."
Right.
So it's that whole thing is
Cole says the GOP did the same thing when Nixon was in Oval Office. Black suppression was what they tried to do then. Black suppression, what they will do in 2021. And I mean that's probably why he did the platinum plan, because a lot of times these strategists know where their struggle areas are before the election hits, so they know where I need to pump up the interest, and so he's coming out with these stars, I'm sure, calling them to the house. No one's had as many black stars as Obama. He said, he said whole galas with just most of us in there.
Right.
Mike, I like Mike's comment. I'll just read Mike's comment. The dumbest statement I've heard is to go back where you came from. People with power won't let us go. They know who's buttering the bread and making the bread.
Oh, can I co-sign on this? So, black people, our history is so important. We've had someone who was instrumental in trying to say, y'all want us to leave? We'll leave. Marcus Garvey tried to do this in the 1920s. We'll leave. I got boats. We're going to go back to Liberia. We're going to do what we got to do. And they messed him up because, J. Edgar Hoover was like, you are not finna take away our workforce and take it. It's not going to happen. They got him on tax evasion, deported that man because he was trying to get us organized around the concept of leaving. America will never, ever, ever be cool, no matter what. And this is where, racism is stratified, right? So if you say, all right, we're all going to go, they're racist, people like Klansmen and French groups who would say, yeah, do that. But they don't realize the amount of work that's going to come down. Right. The real racists who are in the White House and who are in Congress or whatever, they like, no, because I'm not going to be out there doing anything, right? So the whole point is, how do we keep people largely stagnant in one place? And it has to be voter suppression. Everybody now has the right to vote. If we can somehow water down the concentration of the power that is in that voice, then we maintain all these other systems. And that's the reason why the systems have so much racial disparity. You can't find a system in America that's not desperately impacting black people. It's designed that way. So if they can keep you with a felony, then you always going to be looking for work somewhere, right? You work for cheap. If
Right.
they can keep you in the prison system, they already
Right.
got you. You
Right.
work for cheap.
Right.
If you go out here, you don't have a college education, it's going to be a lot harder for you to make it.
True.
They know college education costs money, and a lot of us don't have money, right? So
Right.
they can keep you at McDonald's, right? Like they can keep you.
Right.
That is the whole function. So the way that you unplug and the way that you redefine yourself is to not allow their validation to dictate what you are.
Right.
Everybody listening to this, if you are Black, you are blessed with talents that you may not even know, right? So all you need to do is get in touch with yourself. Find out what are you good at, what can you do, and get with a coalition of people that's going to help you get there.
Right.
And take advantage, because when you own yourself, you got your own power, you got your independence. That's freedom. That's what your ancestors were fighting for, right? For you to be able to make decisions for you.
True. Oh,
Absolutely.
it's the whole system is crazy. I was thinking about Cole's comment. I was thinking about the song. Now I'm gonna go back and really really listen to it. Like, you know, I heard the words, but did you hear them?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check
We
that
have
out.
to
It's
make
no
me go back
surprise.
and check that too.
It's an entire system.
But
Oh.
but it is like, and it's here's the thing. I'm if you will, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Jay said, and then I'm gonna add a tweak to it. When you go back to America, say 1860-ish, when South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, there's like, you know what? We ain't really feeling what y'all doing up there in the north because y'all messing with the economics of this country.
Mm-hmm.
And the economics of this country, which several people argue over, and I don't understand how it's even an argument why the Civil War was fought. The Civil War was fought based on, all you got to do is go back to the state of South Carolina, which was the first to succeed, then the state of Mississippi and Alabama. Read their articles of succession. They implicitly state that black people were vital to the economy of the South, and without black people, the economy of the South, therefore the economy of the world would be affected because they provided something that no other race of people could. They could, I mean, it goes into specifics, especially in the state of Mississippi. They call black people the single most important resource in the world.
Right.
So that has been our plight from, I won't say day one because we were here way before day one.
Right.
We were maneuvering and making our way around the world. So yeah, we do have to get a different perspective of ourselves. But everything that we've been given has been the worst, or the experience in America has been the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, when you talk about medical breakthroughs, people who were threatened, their lives were threatened if they learn how to read, let alone learn how to triage a patient and learn anatomical phrases set up and then create procedures that would save more lives than any other doctor prior to them, or these engineers. Like, there's so many inventions we don't get credit for, but let's be honest, the same person who whips you, rapes your daughter, steals your wife, sells your kids, they're going to come up with methods and ways of making life easier for you.
Right.
No, though, see, we've always taken the worst of every situation, and like cream, we've risen to the top.
Right.
And this is one of the reasons why I didn't worry about who was in the White House. Yes, vote. Yes, it's important. Yes, whatever your opinion is, it's your right. It's your God-given right, and it's constitutionally protected. However, don't forget who you are. Don't forget what you came from. Don't forget that out of ashes, 55 years after the end of the Civil War, we have one of the best economies in Black Wall Street in Tulsa. And then we see that similar in Greensboro and Durham, North Carolina, in black communities. We have always been well able to possess whatever land we're in. Sometimes we just get discombobulated and we forgot how we got there. And that was faith faith in the family, faith in each other, and having each other backs. That's the one thing that we've gone away from more than anything else. When we learn to, am I my brother's keeper? When we ask ourselves that question and we get a serious answer, every single thing that Jay said, single thing that Malcolm X, that Martin Luther King, that Stokely Carmichael, Rosa Parks, Emmett Till, and the plethora of black men and women, your grandparents, lived, fought, and died for. When we can be on that page again, that I am your keeper, AD. I got you. When you start something, you know what? I may have $20, but I got $10 of seed money for you.
Right.
You know what? Jay, you starting a podcast over here, and you want political literacy in the black community. You know what? I'm gonna find 5 people that I make sure I put onto your program. Right. We don't do that no more, and I think that began the demise of our community.
So
that's deep.
So do you feel like? So let me ask you this. With that being said, right, when we all find an enemy to fight, we know how to stick together and fight the one enemy for the most part. Do you feel like if Trump wins this election, will that make people more aware of what's going on and can we hold Trump's feet to the fire as to what he's promised in his platinum plan?
No.
No?
First off, I feel like the platinum plan is the sham. Like he's not really trying to help. And then on top of that, he's shown that since 87% of us didn't vote for him and he still won, he doesn't need us, right? So there's no incentive. He's probably going to get the Senate again. So Mitch McConnell is back. Lindsey Graham is back. So
I thought he was going to lose. I was like,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have an incentive, and it's 4 years. So it's like he doesn't have another election to win. So there's no incentive.
Who gonna check me?
Right. We're gonna check. And what I'll say is this. I mean, this is, again, I think that where America messed up when it comes to Trump, and I think it's going to, in the long run, show that we messed up. Where America messed up when it comes to Trump is that he was the first candidate that was too rich for the system. And what I mean by that is every other candidate who runs for office, you need something from the party. So if the party pulls rank and they like, look, if you say this or that, then we're going to pull our funding or pull our support. Right. Trump was like, you can do what you want to do. You remember at the beginning, the Republicans didn't even like him. He was cursing out everybody. He told Carly Fiorina she was ugly. Right. Like, he talked about Ted Cruz's mama. Now Ted Cruz all in his butt cheeks. Right. He's like, you can't.
Right, anyway.
Right. And so at this point, it's like he was too big to fail. All he had to do was win popular support. And now everybody getting in line. They like, oh, well, Trump is bigot. So I
remember when they asked him to and they asked everyone on the stage, but they were directing at him, like, if you get the nominee, will you align with the Republican Party?
Mm-hmm.
They wanted everybody to agree on that because he was. You're right. He was a crapshoot. They were like, I don't know what this dude's gonna do. If he get the nomination, he may denounce the Republican Party and just do some other crazy mess.
He denounced democracy last night.
well, just think about this time 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. This time 4 years ago, they were still like, it's impossible for Trump to win. Remember? Right. Do you remember the reports?
Yep.
Like, and when he started, it was like Usain Bolt started the race like 3 seconds late because those last 2 hours, I think he shocked the world. And I think the Republican National Convention didn't think he had a chance of winning. I think that's why they paired him up with Pence, because I think Pence was their candidate that they wanted to push anyway.
Right.
But it was like, he was like, gotcha. It was like, and he was like, just remember, 12 months before that, he was supporting Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Just 12 months prior to that, the person that he absolutely hates and got America hating, which it was like, y'all do remember they were chilling like last year.
Right.
But we forget that because people in America are all about right now. You get you a nice, catchy slogan,
right,
and you likable,
right,
you almost there. Period. Right. Make America win. Let's get these people back south of the border and build a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Let's not bring nobody else in from these whole countries.
Right. Right.
There's a whole part of America that was just like, oh man, did you just? I love that guy.
I mean, and it's crazy. Well, let me read Cole's comment. He says to your question, AD, when he answered AD, no, when you have the former BET owner say, I'm voting for the devil, I know. It's not about morality, it's about the cream. And it's crazy about immigration. And I know most people know and kind of know that Obama was deported more people than any other president. Like the Democrats don't want to put that up there, but the Republicans don't want to give him credit for that. It's so crazy how things have been done that it's like, hey, he done stuff for your side as well, But yeah, it's that narrative, that messaging. Matt, Sean Rollins says him winning is like telling a lazy man at work his job is secure for another 4 years.
What is white supremacy, right? It's telling a lazy man who don't want to work that you can be just as good on the basis.
Still make burger. That's not a thing, right?
But here's the difference though. They make you feel like you not working. Y'all lazy black people.
Yep.
Look, is it possible? I mean, I know it might be possible now, but when that phrase was created, was it possible for a black man to be lazy back then? I'm just saying.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
My
not.
mom was working full time in the 8th grade.
Right.
Right.
So what do you think? So you say no, Jay, and you don't think so either, Dwayne. As far as in that 4 years, he's not. Nah.
I think that if we saw anything, we saw these 4 years. We saw what we saw in President Trump. We saw a wealthy white male who has been wealthy his whole life, who has been the boss his whole life, who has never had to answer to anyone or to anybody or any system. When things didn't work out the way he initially planned, there's systems in place, i.e. bankruptcy. I know it was legal for him to do it. However, it doesn't change the fact that he left as many people empty-handed as he did. But I'm just saying there's systems. He's seen that there's systems in place to hold up my kind. There's systems in place to keep my kind who makes over $200-300 million a year, and I can pay $756 in taxes. It was perfectly legal, and I'm not mad at him about that. But what it showed him is there is a system in place for people who have my type status. And his type status never had to answer to anybody. Most of the people who graced the office that he calls his 9 to 5 now, they didn't have the amount of power going into it as he did. So what we saw is when people disagree with him and try to book his system, he realized that, hey, I'm the most powerful man in America. You're fired. I know you've been on this committee and doing this job for the last 18 years under 3 different but I know what's best for this country, so I'm firing you because you disagree with me. Oh, you don't like me either? You're fired too. Oh, take this guy to jail. Can we do that? Yeah, he's bad people. All of these over here, y'all reporting on stuff that might have some truth, but I don't like y'all version of the truth, so fake news. This is what he has done. The difference between him and President Obama, and I'm just talking about what was done, how they did it, was the way they talk. Because politicians are politicians at the end of the day.
Yes, indeed.
Obama could be taking your watch off your hand, but making you feel like you're the reason that this community is holding on. I gotta take this Rolex off you, and I'm gonna give you a Timex in return. But I just want you to know that, look, brother, everything you got going on is where we need to be. Trump is gonna take your watch off of your hand and say, you're scum. I don't think you should be in this country. Wait a minute, are you an immigrant from one of these whole countries? Wait a minute, are you south of that place where we should have a wall? Give me this watch. That's the difference. They're both politicians and they do what they do. They both made, Trump did it by default. Obama, he had to finesse a House and a Senate that didn't necessarily support or rock with him. Trump had the same pleasure with a power that President Obama didn't have, but the goal that Obama was reaching, as far as the policy alone, he was able to achieve.
Right.
But he was a bigot and a pig, and he was harsh when it came out. He wasn't a diplomat with his mouth, and President Obama was a diplomat, and it's a difference.
Right.
At least make me feel like you like me when you're raping me.
Right. Oh, Sean Rock, what's up, Pastor? In the building, coming in at the fourth quarter.
Good morning. No, this is the fourth quarter. This is the 2-minute drill.
Oh, so we're gonna extend a little bit because I wanted to hear your thoughts as well. But Sean Rollins said, for those that know about Vegas, Trump plus 325, Biden negative 450. Biden is favored by a lot now. Was close to even on both about 2 hours ago. Based on Vegas, Biden should win now.
Yeah, Biden just took the lead in Vegas. He also, I think, took the slight lead. Did he take a slight lead in Michigan?
So I'm trying to look at it now. Yep, he's leading in Michigan. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, you lead Michigan. That's
Detroit vote starting to get counted. That's
that's what it is. Detroit vote, I think, is about 70% in, and because those numbers started coming in, it pushed Biden into the lead. I think that they've already counted all. So what has happened is Trump has won voting day.
Right.
Biden has won pre-vote, early vote.
Right.
Some states counted the early vote first. Some states counted the early vote second.
Right.
That's the issue. And so I wanted to touch on something. I missed everything, but Dwayne, you said, excuse me, brother, what is your name again? I forgot your name. I apologize.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm Jay Hamilton.
Jay Hamilton Esquire.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, welcome. Dwayne, you said Barack Obama was a diplomat. He's charismatic. That's absolutely true. And Trump's personality rivals that of an oink oink. Absolutely. But you also said you can't discount Trump's ability to push policy, his agenda. Is that what you said?
well. I think I said that, but quick clarity. All I meant was getting what he's done signed. The bills that President Obama pushed that didn't get signed, I was saying that he pushed the same bills, and because the dynamic of Congress and Senate changed, some of those passed, and he's getting credit for doing this with the unemployment and doing when it was the same thing that President Obama was pushing, but he had that difficulty when it came to the House and Senate.
I think you have to add that the modifications to those bills that the GOP wanted were able to be inserted so that it could get passed during Trump's presidency, because they didn't get passed the way that they were on the docket with Barack Obama.
Right.
They didn't want to work with Barack Obama. They were able to work with Trump because they were able to get what they wanted inserted and get it passed, along with the fact that they had the majority. They could not get it done with Barack Obama because they just weren't going to work with him. Now, and that's absolutely true. The challenge is the people that say Barack Obama never did anything for us. There is a faction of people that say Barack Obama never did anything for us, but they don't do the research and recognize that Barack Obama faced opposition every step of the way. He did not have the leverage that Trump has had to be able to enjoy in the House and the Senate. That's just the reality. So I would challenge the folks who say Barack Obama never did anything for us, because he didn't have the power. He didn't have the leverage. And Barack Obama was a great example of what Strange or Lady Eloise was.
To Strange.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the only part that I wanted to add to what you said, man. I appreciate your comment, but you're right. Trump is a deal maker, but Trump had everything working in his behalf because he had both houses.
Absolutely. And this is one thing I just want to get this point in before I go.
Yeah.
I think what we need to take away from this election is not just about Trump's rise to power, but also about what is the Democratic Party getting ready to do moving forward, right?
Right.
We have had two of the probably the most qualified candidates ever running back to back against Trump. And it's been either a loss or very, very close, right? So my thing is perhaps the Democratic Party may want to start listening to black people a lot more about the changes that we want. We have been a loyal base. We continue to be a loyal voting base, yet we are not getting our needs met. So I think this is a great opportunity for the Democratic Party to sit down with black leaders across the nation. I mean, Ice Cube, welcome to come if you want to, but sit down with black leaders across the nation and find out. Like, let's have some real discussion about our agenda points and put together some plans and promote candidates that we know are going to be viable, because experience is not what is going to sway the American people. What's swaying the American people is, are you fighting for the things that our community is looking for? So that's my challenge to the Democratic Party. I'm hoping that we can start faring better in some of these elections. And if you've seen North Carolina, at least, it's bleak out here. We're going to have a long 4 years.
Bro, let me tell you something. Everything you said is valid. It's a viable argument, and it's a valiant statement. You got the 3 V's. What we have learned, and we talked about this the other day, fellas, you all correct me if I'm wrong. What we have learned last night is that we still have a systemic race issue in America.
Absolutely.
What you see playing out is the silent majority. That's what we talked about. You see the people who will not say out loud, I'm voting for Trump, but because you cannot see their ballot, they went in and voted for Trump. What you see are people who, I told you all, Jane Elliott was talking to back in the day. Raise your hand if you want to go through what you see Black America go through. Nobody raised their hand. Well, you know there's a problem, right? Nobody wants our dilemma, and so they'd rather keep Trump so they can keep their privilege. They don't like him, they don't respect him, but he keeps their privilege. And that's what you see playing out. And so, brother, when you say, Black America has been loyal, listen, that has nothing to do with the Democratic Party. We've been loyal to a people, a color, a race that has not been loyal to us. I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican, this still boils down to race, because you cannot tell me that Trump should be as tight as he is in this race with Joe Biden and with as much of a jacked up character that he has. This is a race issue, man, and white folks do not want to lose their privilege, period. I don't care what anybody says. This country, you can walk from the East Coast to the West Coast and never step on blue. That has nothing to do with policy. That's got everything to do with race.
Oh, yeah, I'm never going to challenge that. I definitely agree with all of that. I guess my point is, we still operate in a two-party system, and it seems like the Democratic Party is trying to win. They keep putting the candidate up. They're trying to win. So if you're trying to win, either you have to say, I'm going to do something different, because what you've been doing for the past few election cycles hasn't been working, or perhaps they should just concede what their internal desire of maintaining this privilege is and go join the Republicans and move out the way and let somebody else run the Democratic Party. But at the end of the day, I feel like you're right. We're loyal to our cause. I feel like race is always going to be in the backdrop and in the fabric of everything that we do. But I feel like at the same time, there is a voice, and I think we've seen, especially in 2020, there is a voice here that is growing, and people may not want to acknowledge that.
Absolutely.
But there is a voice that is growing, and it is getting frustrated and tired with waiting. And we've seen this throughout history. What happens when people get frustrated, tired of waiting? And I think that time is quickly approaching us, so that we need to go in a different direction, particularly if they want to do something better.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham keeping his seat was a surprise.
Absolutely.
I'm disappointed in my family in South Carolina.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
But you know what? I don't even know if I can call it a surprise, because historically speaking, that's what we've done. You forgot the other one that we had in there for 54 years. You remember him? Strom Thurmond?
Strom Thurmond with the black daughter. Yep.
Yeah. We kept him in there for 54 years. Now, this is the same South Carolinians who had to endure the Jim Crow South. Like,
Yeah.
they endured that with him and kept him in there. It's like, yeah, Master, you know, I ain't cleaning floors no more. My great-grandchildren at the house, but I'm still going to vote for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds like I'm making, but that's basically what we do, you know. At some point, we got to take accountability that we giving these people this type of power.
Right.
Yeah.
Cole said we should join Diddy's party. Sorry, Sean Combs, Bad Boy, Ciroc, Sean John, whatever he called it. The people, I think it's the People's Party. I think it's called. So yeah, they are. I think they're trying to build something, at least a coalition or a super PAC, something of that nature. I think we definitely need more of that to have the lobbyists and the money in Washington in order to make some moves with policy and change. Because I think it seems like, you know, that's one of the things that we're lacking. We got the numbers a lot of times, but we just lack the money or the financial backing in Washington to really make things happen. You know, to really push a lot of the bills. And I think maybe that should be our next step, focusing on that, putting the money into the lobbyists and things of that nature in order to get the votes we need to change America.
But see, just historically looking, I look at everybody who's pre-1964, right?
Right.
When you look at America and you look at black people, when people needed something, for instance, when women couldn't vote and women wanted to vote, who did they come to?
Right.
They came to the black community.
Right.
They came to the black community because we gave them leverage.
Right.
Even though we didn't represent specific authority at that time, it was a lot of people, a lot of voices to be heard. They go on to get exactly what they were looking for, and we're in the rear.
Right.
You look at the homosexual community, same thing. They take along that community along to bolster their voice and their cry. They get what they want. Who is still in the back seat? Every interest group that has pushed for power or needed something has our people. I think we got to start understanding that some things are just internal to us. Yeah, we need allies. We can do this. Like,
Well, you know, we're the easiest people in the world to get along with. Okay, that's what you have to realize. That has always been the case, will always be the case, simply because all we've ever asked for was to be at the table.
Right.
For anyone that wants to sit at the table with us, we're willing to have that conversation.
Facts.
That's the reason why, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Someone put in the comments, you know, we should join Diddy's party. To what you were saying, AD. Yeah, my issue with that is we can't join Diddy's party.
Right.
Diddy has to come in. Diddy has to be invited and be a voice at the table with our party.
Right.
It can't be Diddy's party. It can't be Cube's party. It can't be Kanye's party.
Right.
If it's those parties, it won't be taken seriously.
Right. Mm-hmm. True.
Right? You've got to have an individual qualified to be in that seat. And the other thing, we were talking earlier about, you know, the Democrats. Remember this. I was going back to that race thing. The reason why they can't just jump over to the GOP is because you have white people who do care about a social agenda, which keeps them from being GOP. Right? They believe in sharing the pie.
Right.
That's the reason why they're Democrat. They're not Democrat to save black folks. They're Democrats because they have a social agenda.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
right?
Right.
And so we have to keep that in mind. Remember that we have been exposed to the consistency of systemic racism, but let's not neglect the class war that's coming. See,
Absolutely.
there's a class war coming that does not have color attached to it.
Right.
That's why Ice Cube can say, "Hey, Trump called me back."
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
That's why Weezy can endorse Trump, because that's a classification issue,
Right.
you know, and we can't lose sight of that. Can't lose sight of that. I told
Oh.
you guys we hadn't seen what's the girl's name? The black girl.
Omarosa.
Oh, I'm
No.
a Rose.
Nope, the new one.
Oh, Candace Owens.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen it. Well,
Her.
she was on Fox News this morning.
Oh, was she really? Okay. She done came from under the rock.
I
Oh,
think she'll be the next reporter
right.
on Fox News, because
Definitely.
she made her cameo this morning on Fox News.
Wow. Michael Gibson said it's called blurred lines. The parties are almost fluid. We say we should stay on code. However, they are speaking a language, no code, but a comfortable dialogue. Interesting. Cole said it's time to have in our hearts that this country is built on racism and operate from that vantage point.
It's always been us and
yeah.
them.
I'm struggling with that one. Here's the problem. People in this country love to have a charismatic figure, a mass body. People won't move until they love one person who captures their imagination.
Right.
As much as we can be a mass body, we are taught to gravitate to that spark.
Absolutely.
Right.
This is the country of Elvis Presley. Absolutely.
Right. And that's right. Right.
Well, I was thinking it was something else, but the Christian side of me can't say it on live streaming. But no, he's messed up. It's the other word for messed up. Yeah, that's what the Weezy F. Please say the F.
Oh, really? He said, was I dreaming or did I really see Omarosa reporting on CBS? Possibly.
Not sure. I saw Candace on there, but it wouldn't surprise me. Remember that people who fall out of the Trump camp end up on Fox News.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so we're watching. Of course, this conversation will continue tomorrow because the numbers will be different. So I appreciate everyone.
President by tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, man. Let me give people just a quick update before.
Yeah,
we
go ahead.
So right now it looks like Joe Biden right now is winning Wisconsin. That can change.
Okay.
He is also currently winning Michigan.
All right.
Donald Trump is winning Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Georgia still hasn't started counting yet, so it's still where it was last night. But Atlanta is the city that has votes that are left to be counted. Arizona, Joe Biden is winning that probably by the largest margin of all the states left.
Man,
And
Nevada.
Nevada is for Biden right now. So
Biden
it's very possible. It's very possible.
He won.
Biden pulls this
He's
out.
winning Arizona, and he has won Nevada.
He is.
But
He's currently winning
If
Nevada.
Biden gets Pennsylvania,
Right.
Biden has a stronger path to the White House. I mean, I'm sorry, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he's got a stronger path to the White House, even with Biden winning Nevada and Arizona.
Right. So Michigan and Pennsylvania are like the really big ones. Now,
Yeah.
I think Georgia is going to surprise a lot of people too, because that Atlanta vote is bringing this very, very close. So if he pulls out Georgia, Arizona,
Right.
Nevada, and Michigan, I think Biden gets that.
If he pulls out Georgia, I would say he gets it,
Yeah.
because he already has. He's winning in Michigan,
He's winning right now. He was losing
And
last
he-
night, but he's winning now.
and they already call Minnesota for Biden.
Minnesota, they called last night for Biden.
Okay, so he's winning in Michigan.
Mhm.
He's winning in Nevada. He won Arizona. If he gets Georgia, that cripples Trump. Even if Trump gets Pennsylvania, Trump would have to get Pennsylvania. He would have to get Michigan,
Mhm.
and he would have to get Pennsylvania, Michigan. Okay, just those two. Yeah. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yes.
We shall see. Hopefully by 5:00 today, we'll have some updates.
Yes. All right.
Praise, Tank. Pray.
But that's what I've been telling people. I've been telling people it doesn't matter who the president is. You know who we serve. So,
Right. Yes,
you know.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you. Dwayne dropped out, and Terry, my brother, thanks for hanging out. And Jay, thank you for chiming in.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely, the invitation will be open. So if you can make your way in anytime during this week, that'd be greatly appreciated. Pastor in the building, appreciate him always being here, rocking with us, and we appreciate you guys watching as always. Still a time to share. Sharing is caring, because we had a very spirited conversation about this election and the results that may happen. So we appreciate you guys for rocking with us. All those that are consistently here, hanging, definitely don't take you for granted. And as always, know that the Brother of Legacy loves you, but God loves you more. We'll see you in the morning.
I didn't want to catch that. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.